that, so of course you're gonna know the fans gonna be rubbed the wrong way.
Not saying that I should have my way, but I just think if I'm doing business with somebody and they said they don't want to do business with me, I wouldn't do business with them, plain and simple.
We had to sit back and make a decision. What's gonna be best for Steve Francis? I mean, you know, and it's the stand that we took.
We spoke with a number of general managers, and Houston was a city and a team that had the right components of issues with the cap.
It was, at that time, the largest trade that ever been done in the NBA. Yeah, I think it was 13 players involved, which was, it takes a lot of time just to trade one player for another today, and it took forever to do this one.
All of a sudden, I hear Houston. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. I was jumping up and down forever, man, and they told me I got traded to Houston, man. I was so excited.
Houston at the time, you had 3, you know, top 50 guys. You know, he wouldn't be thrown into the fire. I mean, you could learn from Akeem Olajuwon, a Charles Barkley, a Scottie Pippen at the time.
Well, Scottie got traded before I got there. Barkley got hurt. Akeem was, you know, in and out. He got injured.
He's the only one left. So he ended up learning a lot, but not how we planned the learning. He learned by doing and performing. And, you know, he can rise to any occasion.
Steve Francis taking it. Oh, how did he make that? Steal by Stevie Francis. Look out. Oh, Stevie Francis.
He wasn't overwhelmed with the league. He felt like he belonged right away, and that's a big challenge to most guys coming in.
Francis says, this is the way you do it. Oh, what a shot. I don't believe it.
He felt comfortable pretty much right away.
And Francis flies through the air.
Gary Payton's on a fast break, so he's going for a layup. I said, give me that. So Gary Payton's like, oh, this little young want to talk trash.
Oh, now they are really yakking. Look at him.
We were face to face, and I'm like, damn, this is Gary Payton right here. This is my rookie year.
Guys really came at him a lot, and so, you know, he just wouldn't back down.
Steve's play quickly repaired his image, but the fans in Vancouver weren't so forgiving.
Oh, my goodness.
In Vancouver, a very hostile crowd awaiting Steve Francis here this evening.
I know people outside the arena can hear it. It just rang out.
Guys were throwing things from the rafters onto the court.
People were throwing batteries, tomatoes.
It was really a hostile crowd out there.
All rejection inside. Now that'll go down as a highlight for Grizzlies fans tonight. Francis just throws it up. Oh, what an athletic play by Steve Francis.
I go out there, man. I'm making shots. I'm throwing the ball off the backboard through the lane, dunking it, and I'm having a great game, and we win.
Francis crossover, elevates, sticks the jumper.
Steve averaged 18 points and nearly 7 assists per game in his rookie year and formed a bond with head coach Rudy Tomjanovich.
On the first day of training camp, he said, hey, stay ball. I'm just going to give you the ball and let you go. And from that day, man, I just went.
In Steve's second season, the Rockets won 45 games, an 11-game improvement over his rookie campaign. But Steve's third year would prove disastrous.
Every other day, I'm like, damn, I'm dizzy. So I go to a team trainer. I'm like, I need to see a doctor. Something's wrong.
It's like his head pounding, you know, seeing 2 and 3 people.
His eyes were bloodshot red. He was dizzy. He couldn't really, you know, get his vision together.
I was scared, man. There were times when I was scared. I didn't know what to do.
And we flew down to Houston to try to find out what was going on. So, you know, he got tests, went to different doctors, and couldn't find no answer.
The season is still going on, and I'm playing games. On game day, I'm going to the doctor.
Francis having some more migraine headaches today, but he's going to try to go tonight.
Stevie franchise.
He played so many times when we didn't think he would. And one night he made, I think, 38 points. And when I didn't think he could get off the table, he was hurting so bad.
Steve was eventually diagnosed with an inner ear disorder that could be treated with medication and a proper diet.
I lost like 35% of my hearing in my right ear. So when my coaches yell at me in my right ear, when my coach is yelling, I always go like this. When they tell me to pass the ball, I always give them my right ear, so I have to pass the ball. You know, they put me on medication, and I just slowly started to feel better as I changed my diet, and you know, it kind of changed some of the things that I did in my lifestyle.
Between the headaches and a foot injury, Steve missed 25 games in 2002. The Rockets missed the playoffs for the third straight year. They sent Steve to represent them in the draft lottery.
The NBA draft lottery has come down to 3 teams.
He told me when he left here, he said, we're going to get first. We're going to get first.
I was like, man, we're going to get Yao.
The Houston Rockets.
Houston had its man, and the Rockets stormed into the 2003 season.
We made major improvements. I thought Rudy did a great job of, you know, coordinating Yao into the offense. And, you know, for myself, I thought that was one of my best seasons that I had.
The Rockets won 43 games, and Steve made his second All-Star team. But in the offseason, he got a rude awakening.
Not to say that I didn't like Van Gundy, it was just the way that he coached was, you know, not towards my game.
I think we all bumped heads with Jeff in terms of being serious.
I'm not sure necessarily that they wouldn't have been better served with more serious guys surrounding them from the time they came into the NBA.
Beyond the Glory on FSN is brought to you by Burger King. Have it your way.
We're all in agreement that the best thing for me personally is to take a leave of absence.
After the 2003 season, Rockets coach Rudy Tomjanovich stepped down. He was replaced by Jeff Van Gundy.
Van Gundy's style was just different than Rudy's. Rudy was a more open court kind of guy.
Good job, baby. I love that.
Let us pretty much do what we want. We were all into the isolation, and Van Gundy's a defensive coach.
Van Gundy's teams were known for a tough defensive mentality and a half-court grinded-out offensive style.
He was very, very strict as far as the way that he coached. You know, the things that he wanted. He wanted things done his way. You know, if it wasn't his way, you would know about that.
The team ran more 5-man plays and try to develop and get Yao going.
This is Francis, the jump pass, trying to get Yao Ming a little more involved.
The way you have the best chance to win a championship is to be a balanced team.
What Steve was used to, where we ran plays from the wing, isolations, and him getting the ball, getting out on a break, and just making things happen.
Steve was always going to be a scoring mentality point guard, highly emotional. What I wanted him to do better was channel his emotions, and secondly, I wanted him to do more on less dribbles.
He's a dribbler. He's a dribbler. He's an off-the-dribble kind of guy. Great jump shooter off the dribble. He's great going to the hole off the dribble. He makes great passes off the dribble. It's his game. And sometimes in certain systems you feel like you can't do the things you want to do.
Francis is not really a setup guy. He's a scorer.
I really wasn't given a chance to really do what I wanted to do. I wasn't given a chance to come down and shoot threes like I do. I wasn't given a chance to post up like I normally do. So there were a lot of things that were taken away from my game.
He was having his best year. He was having more of an impact on winning in that year than he had ever had.
The way that he coached was, you know, not towards my game. There's no way that you go from making an all-star team at 21 points to 16 points unless you're like missing some fingers or something.
They were clashing heads a little bit. Personally, I thought he needed a little bit of that, you know. Everybody needs a little bit of discipline.
Van Gundy was particularly troubled by Steve's close relationship with teammate Cuttino Mobley.
From the first day I got traded from Vancouver, me and Cat have been, to this day, man, we've been tight. Our relationship is like a brother relationship, man. Whatever I got, he has, and vice versa.
Mobley looking for Francis underneath.
They're both individually great guys, and I think they're better suited to be a part.
Look at the exuberance of Francis and Mobley.
I felt they were both so distracted, both of them individually, from a focus standpoint, that probably a more serious guy for each one would have helped them focus on what they were trying to accomplish basketball-wise.
Sometimes they, them being together in practice was kind of hard for us to get things done because we'd be too busy laughing at each other.
If you can't be yourself at your job, then there's no need to work at that place. So if I can't be myself and mess around in practice, then I don't need to work there.
Despite the friction, the Rockets reached the playoffs for the first time in Steve's career. Unfortunately, they ran into the powerful LA Lakers.
Wide open underneath the basket.
There were probably 6 or 7 plays in that series which could have turned, the series around, to favor us.
Inside to Yao. Rejected by Shaq.
Frankly, we weren't ready to beat a team like that. That team was too good for us at that point, but I felt very good after that series of where we were heading.
We thought that things were going in a wonderful direction in Houston.
People saying that Steve Francis and Jeff Van Gundy don't get along, but we made it a couple steps forward by even just making it to this point.
We thought that that was a situation for years to come, that could be the starting of something big.
But in the offseason, Steve and 2 teammates were sent to Orlando in exchange for Tracy McGrady.
That wasn't a tough decision. Tracy McGrady's a better player. And my feeling is that whenever you get the best player in the trade, you get the best of the trade.
It was hard to swallow, just because all the things that I've done for that city that the coach didn't know about. He didn't really know, what the city meant to me and what I meant to the city. This is the gym I built by myself.
He was shocked. Everybody around him was shocked. I don't think anybody seen that trade coming.
Welcome to Houston.
They were buying tickets to come see me play. And that was for 5 years. People were coming to see, the franchise coming to see me play.
Oh, I think he was bitter,
If people don't want to agree with the way that they play, they'll just get traded like me.
Steve he always has interesting things to say. I think everybody thinks, coaches too, think they're not replaceable, untradeable, and we're all replaceable and tradable.
I always thought that that's where I would finish my career in Houston, but, things don't always work out the way you want them to.
Steve's new team, the Orlando Magic, appears to be on the rise.
I think Steve definitely found a home in Orlando. I think they have a great nucleus down there. I think they're going to build and end up being a good team next year.
I spent a couple days down there with him. We talked, man. We talked for a while. And he's comfortable.
While Steve grows comfortable with his new family, his true family is growing. Longtime girlfriend Shelby Randolph recently gave birth to a baby girl.
That's probably the most exciting thing for me right now that's going on in my life. Being able to have a life that's come from me, to have a kid, to have a daughter.
It has brought Steve and I very close. He has slowed down a lot. He's starting to focus on things that adults focus on. He's starting to realize that family is most important.
He knows how it feels not to have your father around at key points in your life. He's more likely going to be there for his.
I'm definitely going to be there for my daughter every single day. When it's time to go to prom, I'm going to be the guy she goes to the prom with, so I'll be there every day.
Steve has never run from responsibility. His nickname doesn't allow it.
Do I think the name franchise is a burden? I don't think so, man. I think you make it what it is. You be yourself. You play the way that Steve Francis